Tonight, the truth about car crime. How criminals continue to take our cars to commit dangerous and frightening deeds.
It's not the Bobby on the beat that can deal with this. It's far more organised. It crosses police boundaries. It crosses international boundaries.
How the police are having to become smarter and able to use superior technology. Casting their nets far and wide, catching drug dealers.
1 times white block.
As well as illegal drivers.
Have you got a watch on at all? Just have a look, see if you've got a watch on.
Watching as the thieves strike back by copying our cars.
I can't believe that he's actually been able to copy my car.
Making the innocent take the blame.
I wasn't going to give in to them. You know, why should I? I was the victim.
And leaving those victims deep in debt.
Nobody believes me at all. And that was the point that I just wanted to kill myself and just forget about living.
Down on the ground! Down!
Car crime moves almost as quickly as the vehicles on the roads these days.
Every week in Britain, more than 1,800 cars are stolen. At least half of them are never recovered. Many are used to commit other crimes.
It is very unusual for a criminal to commit any offence without there being a form of transport somewhere within the body of that crime.
They may be travelling around with no documents, no licence, no insurance. If a person is willing to commit one crime, using the vehicle as an enabler on the strategic road network, he may well be committing other crimes.
Finding criminals on the move isn't easy.
Bad guys do big bad stuff, but they also do little bad stuff. They speed. They don't pay for their petrol. They don't pay their tax disc on the car. And sometimes you can catch them on those grounds when you can't actually get them for the bigger stuff.
The police have been forced to turn to new technology to keep up. Like special camera systems which recognise car number plates. They were devised 30 years ago to catch terrorists. But are now at the forefront of the war against car criminals. Automatic number plate recognition cameras, or ANPR as the police call them, are being installed throughout Britain. If they pick up a number plate which is wanted or illegal, they automatically sound an alarm.
ANPR doesn't discriminate. It simply goes out and flags up those vehicles that we should be looking at, so we can leave everybody else alone.
Two years ago, police chiefs decided they should use ANPR to track and catch travelling criminals. Crooks who use cars to travel the length and breadth of the country to commit their crimes. For the first time, different police forces worked together, joining forces with other national agencies like Customs and Excise and the Vehicle Licensing Agency to crack down on the criminals on four wheels.
They brought you in because it was coming up as no insurance.
You've been stopped before for any reason?
It's criminal damage and GBH.
Under the codename Operation Utah, they mount massive ANPR-driven ambushes in different parts of the country. The first ambush took place in November 2006, when the Utah Task Force set up its cameras on the main access roads to Dover at the Dartford crossing. It was high profile and a huge success.
It's now a tried and tested format. It's police forces working together, but also with a series of other agencies. And essentially what we're doing is we're living up to that promise that we will rid our roads of criminals who are abusing our roads. In the 10 Utah operations, we expect to get over 100 arrests, but so many other things are revealed too, from those who can't be bothered to insure their car or the tax disc that you and I buy, but also right up to serious crime.
The success of Operation Utah convinced the powers that be to set up a national car crime coordinating unit, which had only one tough remit: find and catch the organised criminals who are making many motorists' lives a misery.
If you are committing any offence or you are suspected of committing an offence, you will be stopped, you will be processed, and where possible, enforcement action will be taken.
Today, there's another Utah operation underway, this time on the M25 in Hertfordshire.
Welcome to colleagues both from this force to other forces, and particularly welcome to colleagues from partner agencies in law enforcement.
Apart from the ANPR cameras, more than 100 officers from 6 different police forces are involved.
Operation Utah gives us a chance to focus on people who are causing this society some of the most problems. It allows us to use our intelligence to combine resources of many different agencies to get at the travelling criminal. It's about primarily showing them that they can't walk around, can't drive around with impunity, that we will find them and we will lock them up. Let's find a way of ruining their day so they don't ruin someone else's.
More police are intent on ruining the day of lawbreakers using the M4 in Avon and Somerset and across the Severn Bridge in South Wales. The Utah team here are using ANPR cameras that have enlisted the help of Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, we've got a no-keeper on a white Renault van.
But there's nothing Stone Age about this equipment.
The criminal may be very good at covering his tracks, but forgets to get a tax disc, and that's where we get our in. So I would say that's where the technology is really coming in its own. We've got PNC extract information.
Vehicles which attract Flintstone's attention are reeled in by traffic cops in fast intercept cars and on motorbikes.
Just made eye contact with a female driver, just showed her notice up to the window asking her to follow us into a police check.
The police check is thorough and nearby.
The reason we initially stopped you is your number plate.
Utah isn't only snaring criminals, it's catching speeders too.
I was doing over 100 miles an hour and I wasn't catching you, which would suggest to me you're doing at least 100 miles an hour. She's in a rush, she's trying to get to a wedding up in Hempstead. That's the reason she was doing it. I mean, there's never a good time to speed, and it's just not appropriate to do it. When you're reported to speeding, you'll get summons through the post.
Trying to get to the church on time is one thing. Doing it in a car you only recently bought is another.
Everything's going wrong at the moment. The tinted windows have been pulled off, but I didn't know they were over the limit because I just bought it from a garage. I don't really know much about cars.
The Utah teams are also on the lookout for drugs.
Just a bit around the driving area to see what's on there. Heroin at 1.75. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll put the dog in, have a little sniff round.
That's fine.
And to see what he comes up with.
There's traces of heroin on my seats and stuff, and I'm a teetotal and I've never even tried drugs, so I don't know why they'd be there.
On the Welsh side of the Severn Bridge, they're celebrating. A 3-year-old drugs dog called Kobe has hit pay dirt, or cocaine. Lots of it.
This number plate hit indicated to me that the vehicle and the occupants may be involved with controlled substances. I then requested that a dog handler, who had a drugs dog, attend. In a safe underneath the seat was what we believe to be a large amount of cocaine. Initial guesstimates are in the region of about £80,000.
1 times white block.
We've had some tremendous successes. Recently, believe it or not, we recovered a rocket launcher and grenade, and that required the services of the bomb disposal team to come in and defuse it.
The woman trying to get to the church on time in her new car isn't going anywhere. She hasn't got any road tax.
She has the opportunity to pay £200 for the release of the clamp. From when she does that, the clamp will be released. If she can't pay the £200 right at this very moment, the vehicle will be removed and taken to the pound. And again, if it's not paid for within the 14 days, the vehicle will be crushed.
The woman doesn't have a bean. She's broke, without even a checkbook.
Do you have anyone at all that can pay for you by credit card right now?
I don't get paid till Monday. Have you got cash on you just for now?
It's not cash. It's not cash. It has to be a friend, family,
what about,
anyone.
Richard? I'll ring Rachel now.
The woman's even calling the bride-to-be.
She's not going to answer. She is getting married, isn't she? They won't take cash, right? Yeah, they just said to keep ringing. Okay then, thank you. Bye. I'm just going to carry on ringing.
Yeah, we'll give her an hour or two to try and get the money. If not, they'll remove it to their pound. They'll get one of their recovery trucks down to do that.
Had about 140 hits since 7 o'clock this morning, so a couple hours.
The ANPR technology is good, but not that good. The Utah team need a pair of human eyes as well.
Cameras obviously read number plates, but they don't necessarily pick up who's in the car or the condition of the car. So my role here today really is just to be like an old-fashioned policeman and have a look at what's going by, and if there's anything that I think ought to be stopped, I'll call it in. It'll be stopped in the same manner as the ANPR has.
One vehicle which caught the human eye is this trailer. Giving it the once-over is a vehicle examiner who's been fighting the car criminals for more than 30 years.
The identity of it's all been removed off the vehicle. The actual make of the vehicle's been ripped off. You can see down here there should be what they call a VIN sticker, which has been removed as well. It's a different colour to the actual rest of the trailer. So we suspect at the moment this may be a stolen trailer, and we need to take it in for further investigation to see if we can identify it.
You've got a credit card or anything?
The woman trying to get to the wedding has raised the cash to cover her tax and fines. But maybe she's too late.
I'll get my work colleague to do it now.
Well, what you're going to have to do then, I'm going to have to get the vehicle moved from here.
No, really? She just rang me, please.
Listen to me. What I'm going to have to do is get the vehicle removed and taken to the pound round the corner, because I cannot leave it here any longer.
Can you not pull it up just for this then?
No,
because they said that they can pay it. I'll just give her the number straight away now.
The vehicle's being seized by the DVLA. It's going to be taken from this place, okay?
Can I
It'll be
just
put in the
ask?
pound. No, you can't ask. It's being seized.
No, I'm not asking anything like that.
At the trailer inspection, the examiner is seeing red. He's not angry. He's found illegal fuel.
Basically, it's rebate gas oil, better known as red diesel. It's normally used for farm machinery, so the duty on it is, I think, 7p compared to what your normal diesel would be. Obviously, it's illegal to use on the public highway as well, but unfortunately, some people do.
It is basically a tax evasion offence, and the country loses several £100 million every year in lost tax through people illegally using red diesel.
The upshot is, ultimately, all right, the vehicle will be seized to start with, all right, and then conduct an interview with yourself, and then we can discuss restoration.
The bottom line is there'll be a fine of several £100 for the fellow to actually drive off with his vehicle this afternoon.
Come on, we don't want to be filmed. Just go over here.
It's not down to you. It's not down to you.
Still no joy for the woman in a hurry, and her own tank is empty.
I haven't eaten since yesterday. No, we've been camping out in my car since 11:30.
I've got a Mars bar and an apple if you like that.
I might steal your Mars bar now. Fingers crossed now, isn't it? So you are gonna ring him back, are you? Okay, thank you very much. Brilliant, bye. Sorted, paid.
Does that mean you're going to be able to
I can go. Oh, do you know what? I love you. I do and I don't.
No, have the apple as well.
No, I don't like apples.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Thank you.
With any luck and no more traffic cops, the woman can get to the church on time after all. ANPR cameras are still used for counter-terrorism. The Police National ANPR computer is not only programmed with number plates belonging to criminals.
In the last hour, a blazing car has crashed into the terminal building at Glasgow Airport.
When terrorists rammed Glasgow Airport with a car filled with gas canisters, only one of the attackers died. But other bombers who were behind the attack weren't caught immediately.
Some of the work done post the failed bombings in Glasgow was related to ANPR technology and tracking people down motorways, and it was incredibly vitally important to those investigations.
Those suspected of planning the outrage were eventually caught when a car registered to them was caught on an ANPR camera.
The Serious Organised Crime Agency has an interest in ANPR technology. MI5 has an interest in it. The counter-terrorist groups have an interest in it because more serious offenders need a car and they're going to drive down motorways, and motorways are full of ANPR.
On the M25 outside London, ANPR cameras have alerted police to a stolen car. £25,000 worth of BMW, and the chase is on. In the car are two women who took it after grabbing the keys from a hotel in North London. Also on their tail is the boss of Operation Utah, Superintendent John Wake.
The police vehicle has tried to intercept and stop the vehicle, and the vehicle has now refused to stop. Come on, love, come on, love. And we're just trying to catch up with the intercept vehicles as they stand.
It's too late. The BMW has already crashed, pinned in by the pursuit cars. No one's been hurt, and the woman driver has been arrested. The lady in red is not the passenger. She's an off-duty police officer.
They've tried to make their way through 2 lanes of stationary traffic. They then collided with 2 vehicles and collided with a fence. We've actually been assisted by members of the public partially blocking the road. But I'm pleased to say that there's no injuries. 2 persons are in custody, a stolen vehicle recovered.
Meanwhile, back at the motorway service station where the Hertfordshire leg of Operation Utah is being run from, there are no welcome breaks for the lawbreakers.
Follow that officer.
Especially for this man. He's been driving without insurance.
If it's not done within 14 days, it will get crushed, simple as that.
There's no way I can drive it back to someone and pick it up somewhere else?
No, the vehicle's going to get seized now because it's got no insurance. It'll get taken away to a storage place.
Uninsured drivers are a menace to society. They're dangerous to themselves, they're dangerous to other road users because they're much more likely to be involved in an accident. 1 in 20 motorists on our roads is currently driving illegally without insurance. Last year, the police caught and actually scrapped over 100,000 vehicles which were being driven illegally without insurance.
To add insult to injury, the man's car is going to be given the once-over by the drugs dog. Tricky when your boot's so full.
I've just been thrown out by my missus, that's the only reason I drove the car. So, I've got bags for the clothes and I've got to leave them in. I've had a real bad day.
You can take the stuff now, you can take whatever personal stuff in the car.
Yeah, but I've got bags and bags of stuff. I need it to be parked somewhere so I can get someone to come in and unload it. They're not going to take it straight away, are they? You need to give me time.
Yeah, they'll probably take it within the next sort of 10 minutes.
I appreciate that it has been a bad day for him due to his personal circumstances, but we have to take action, which means seizing the car.
Homeless and carless, he has 14 days to pay up and get his car back, or it'll be crushed. Many criminals now know that the ANPR cameras can easily catch them, so they're finding ways to try and fool them, like changing the plates.
The number plate is the most vulnerable bit of the vehicle. We've got lots of ANPR technology now. It's powerful technology for tracking offenders, and if they can just steal another number plate, then it's a waste of time.
But the thieves have to steal plates from cars of the same make, model and colour of the ones they've taken. Last year in England and Wales, 35,000 number plates were stolen. But for some crooks, there's an easier and less sophisticated way.
You could perhaps just put a bit of electrical tape, so a C becomes an O becomes an 8, and it's a very simple process of just putting a bit of electrical tape between the letters, so you're effectively partially cloning the vehicle.
Petrol stations have ANPR cameras too. This man knows he's being taped by CCTV as he fills up with petrol. The car's his, but the plates belong to somebody else. He doesn't intend to pay for the petrol and knows there's a good chance the police will end up knocking on the door of the plate's rightful owner rather than his.
People have actually faced arrest during the early hours of the morning by armed police officers, arresting the person on suspicion of a robbery. So here we have a classic situation of a registration plate being obtained, put onto a vehicle, used in a real serious offence, and then an innocent member of the public arrested.
This is what happened to Funmi Onifadi when she bought a second-hand Renault Clio. Funmi had no idea what she was getting into. When motoring fines started dropping through her letterbox, she thought there'd been a mistake, especially as the first one was from a place in London she's never been to.
2 or 3 days later, another letter came in. I thought, no, this can't be a joke now. I rang the congestion charge, said, you were seen, your car was there. And they gave me the plate number, which was mine. Then few more letters came from other boroughs. Then I started wondering, what's going on? I asked them to take a photograph of the car and send it to me. And they did. It was the same color, same plate number. Someone had copied my car. Yeah, I've got a reference.
Funmi's parking fine problem began to turn into a nightmare when she went to the powers that be.
I went to the police, and the police said that they don't see it as a crime. DVLA, they couldn't do anything because they were after crime number. No one was there to help me. Absolutely no one. Yeah, it's regarding the cloning.
The fines quickly mounted up. Soon, Funmi owed over £6,000. She hadn't got the money, even if she'd wanted to pay.
Okay, I'll bring that along.
Funmi even wrote to her MP for help. Then, just when she thought things couldn't get any worse, there was a knock at the door.
They came very early, around 6 a.m. in the morning, kind of barged in. I thought it's definitely armed robbers, so I screamed. And then my husband and my son came down.
It wasn't armed robbers, but the bailiffs. Funmi called the police for help.
The police came, 4 cars, and they said, no, you have to pay. And I said, pay for what? After seeing the file, after seeing the letters to the House of Commons, letters to the Transport for London, letters to all these boroughs that all these charges came from, and you still think I should pay? The police officer said, yes, I have to pay.
The months of stress finally took their toll, and Funmi's world collapsed.
Nobody believes me at all, and that really hurts. And that was the point that I just wanted to kill myself and just forget about living.
2 years on, and Funmi's still on medication, but she did manage to convince the authorities that her car had been copied and hers was the genuine article.
All this made me feel like a criminal, and I wasn't, but I thank God that I came out of it.
On the M4, Operation Utah is still in full swing. There's another ANPR hit, a suspected stolen car. But once again, this may not be what it seems. Possibly another clone. But this is the genuine car with its rightful owner at the wheel. Its twin is somewhere else.
So what we're going to do now is take her into the check site. We've got a stolen vehicle examiner at the site.
who will examine the vehicle and make sure that it's legitimate.
When something interesting really does go through, everybody else gets the excitement of going after it, whereas we just sit here and keep calling the hits out for everybody.
Telling the fakes from the real thing takes years of experience and a lot of patience. Vehicle examiners like Paul Wheeler have got their work cut out today.
Vehicle examiners just checking the identity and make sure it's the okay one, all right?
For honest motorists, the car crime cloning business is often devastating.
CID called me from Cambridge and said that somebody's copied my car up there, so they're going to put a marker on my car across the country, so that's why I've been stopped today. I feel really nervous about it, I don't like it, I hated it. That's the first time I've ever been stopped.
Just check the VIN plate and we'll go from there. Right.
Examiners can usually tell if a car's been cloned or not by checking the vehicle identification number, the VIN.
It's a 17-digit number that all motor vehicles have. I'm there checking to make sure the vehicle's also, all the stamp number is actual genuine, make sure it's neat and tidy and actually done by the manufacturer. The stamp number looks fine. It's got a sticky label on it. Yep, it's all done. You're free to go, as they say.
Oh,
okay. I'll leave you to.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can't believe that he's actually been able to copy my car. Like, I don't know, I've never even heard of it before. But he must have followed me or spotted my car and registration number and everything else.
Seatbelt on.
Not all copies are done in this way. Some crooks give their stolen cars new identities by visiting the scrapyard. It's been going on for years.
They take the identity of one vehicle, which is normally a salvaged vehicle or a damaged vehicle. They cut it out and they take the labels and they transfer it onto the stolen one.
DC Rhian Banham specialises in finding cloned cars. Today she's on home ground, Kent, thinking like a criminal.
But what they've done is they've cut the chassis and they've removed the good number out of the original vehicle, taken the ID number from the salvage vehicle, placed it into the hole and welded it in, ground it, smoothed it off and painted it to make it look like an original chassis number in place.
If this Mitsubishi had been used, the criminal would have made £34,000 for simply buying a piece of scrap metal for a couple of £1,000s.
If you stop this at the side of the road, it would be almost impossible to identify it as a stolen vehicle. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of work and technology to actually identify a stolen vehicle, and a member of the public, they've got no chance of kind of identifying it.
The truth about this sort of car crime is that the police believe it's made all too easy for the criminal. Salvage yards like this are full of vehicles which are not total write-offs, but which were too costly to repair. So the insurance companies junk them instead.
When the insurance company gives them to a legitimate salvage company, then they kind of pass the buck because it's passed then to the salvage company. But at the end of the day, they're in it to make money too, and they don't really care who they sell it to, and they'll sell it to people who really you don't want it to be sold to.
The Kent police have been trying to catch the cloning criminals and the motor traders who help them. Once again, ANPR is involved.
There's meant to be an auction today whereby there's going to be plenty of vehicles in and out. Got ANPR teams at either side of the road. The ANPR team and spotters on the bikes will bring people in to the triage system, and then we'll direct the cars into one of these search bays.
We're trying to find illegal traders, people who are buying multiple kind of numbers of salvage, who are unregistered. If you buy salvage vehicles, you need to be registered under the Vehicle Crimes Act. We know a lot of these cars are repaired using stolen parts, and also they're being repaired by people who have no qualifications, put back onto the road that really are death traps. Hello there. Good afternoon. Right, this is just a routine...
This man isn't a motor trader, but his van is unusual and something DC Banham wants a closer look at.
So who's the owner of the vehicle?
This one?
Yeah.
You're
You're the owner. They're just checking the identity of this vehicle.
It's an 88 engine.
Yeah.
But the engine number's been altered as well. Step panel's been changed. This is a 1992.
Yeah.
So it's a false identity.
Right, so it's not the same one.
Alexander job,
Yeah.
at the very least.
The vehicle is supposed to be this D-Reg. It isn't this D-Reg. You haven't got what you think you've got. Technically, you've got a mix and match, but either way, the majority of that vehicle is an H-Reg. There's no stamped-in chassis. Now, technically, because there's no stamped-in chassis, the vehicle is road unlegal because you've got to have a stamped-in number.
Right.
Now, who did you actually buy it from?
I bought it off eBay.
You bought it off eBay?
Yeah.
And do you know the name of the person? Have you got the receipts or anything of the name of the person? How much did you pay for it?
I gave 1,460 quid for it.
And you were given a logbook, were you?
I was given a logbook and an MOT certificate.
This is turning into a right old mystery.
Have you had any notification at all in the last week? Any recent stuff? Change of keeper. I've got somebody here who says he claimed he bought it last week. Yeah, and also, have you got any kind of record double taxing or anything else? It's obviously not what it's supposed to be. It could be a stolen one, but the chances are what all it'll be is the stolen cab part on top of the body of the D-Reg. At the end of the day, if it's been done, which we think it's been done several years ago, we're very, very unlikely to find out what it originally was. You're lucky in the fact that we have got experts here and that can distinguish what's happened. If a policeman stopped it with no number, you'd be arrested straight away. We'll contact Shropshire as well. We'll tell them that you're going to come in, Shrewsbury, and then we'll sort out and getting it sorted out, OK? You kind of have to sympathise with people who are in this position. There are a lot of people who kind of buy cars in this situation. But then again, there are an awful lot who buy them thinking they've got the bargain of the year and they're cheap, and they're only cheap for one very good reason, and that's there's something wrong with them. There's no such thing as a bargain in the motor vehicle trade.
But bargains are what everyone wants. And increasingly, that means turning to the internet. Whether it's via eBay or search engines, more and more car buyers are using the net. And more car criminals are making millions by using it to sell stolen and cloned vehicles to innocent people who often cut corners and then pay the ultimate price when the police come to call.
If it's subsequently traced, then that car can be seized and the person who innocently bought it is left with no car. And again, that's a massive purchase for them and they're going to feel pretty pissed off, frankly.
When Doug Haynes paid £14,500 of his savings for a Land Rover, he was as happy as could be. He thought he'd found the perfect vehicle for taking disabled people water skiing. But not for long.
2 officers from the Stolen Vehicles Unit at Chelmsford turned up, and these are experts in stolen vehicles. They crawled all over it, and they said, and they took out backlights, and they took out all sorts of different things. And they turned around and said, "I'm sorry, sir, but this car is not what it appears to be. It's actually this vehicle with a different registration plate." Pardon? It was the subject of a theft. It was an exact copy of another vehicle. It had been cloned.
The officers admitted that it was such a good clone that only specialists like them would know it.
There was a full service history with it as well, which I checked, which was all dealer stamped. It tied up with the mileage. It had even got Land Rover branded number plates on it.
Things took a turn for the worse when the insurance company, who had paid out on the theft, wanted their property back. Unless Doug cared to pay them another £13,000.
No way, I just can't afford it. End of story. I thought I'd lost everything. I must admit, I thought at that stage I'd lost my money because there was no way that I could afford to pay.
There was also no way Doug was going to give up.
I was going to fight them, and I wasn't going to give in to them. You know, why should I? It was my money. I spent good money, hard-earned money, to buy that car. You know, and I was the victim.
And this time, the victim hit back in an unexpected way.
So I made them what I called a silly offer. I offered them £1,000. And they accepted it.
By refusing to play the victim game, Doug had bucked the trend.
From my experience, the innocent purchaser of a stolen vehicle who's visited by the police and provided this information is devastated. It's a shocking situation to be in. It's not only the cash, it's your transportation. You need that car, and it's going to be taken from you.
In East London, they have a problem with car criminals of a different kind. Burglars who are using cars as getaway vehicles. Once again, as the police move against those who break and enter,
9-9, it's a stop, stop, stop.
ANPR cameras are being used. This is one of the Metropolitan Police's special ANPR units, who target criminals in cars for a living. Sergeant Crump is in charge.
Right, ladies and gents, thanks this morning for coming. I'm Sergeant Crump, the Sergeant from the North East ANPR team. This is not a traffic operation, this is a crime operation. You've asked us to come here because there's a burglary problem in this area and you suspect that your burglars are using vehicles. Obviously we will pick up other vehicle-borne criminals. Please don't be under the illusion that this is just about the driver of the vehicle. If the automatic number plate recognition device picks up a number plate, it may be the passenger that we're interested in. All I can say is that if you engage today and get involved, it won't be a long day. I know it has been raining, but the skies are blue. Adrian's booked the sunshine for me, which is nice, so hopefully we won't get too wet.
Crump's team will be setting up ANPR traps at a number of strategic points in East London, Hackney being the first.
They've identified a corridor, which is Mare Street, which has a number of vehicles going up and down it, which have either been involved in burglaries and or transporting stolen goods from burglaries. But you never know what else we might turn up while we're down there. It's one of those things with these, you go down, you never know what you're going to catch until you caught it.
And that means being ready for anything. A camera van at one end of the road.
Your driving licence with you at all?
Do you want to jump out then and stand on the pavement for me?
20 police officers waiting round the corner. Just in case anyone spots the trap, Sergeant Crump is in a fast response car.
And we do get a lot of people that U-turn to avoid the stop sign. They'll see the van and then think, oh, I shouldn't be here, I've got, something to hide. So it's not just about letting the technology work, we've also got to be on our toes a little bit and be a bit inventive about what we do as well.
And that means being quick off the mark. Already someone is making a run for it.
There he is.
BMP from Oscar Juliet 10, active message, got a vehicle planning to stop for me. Not sure the offences is yet. Land Lane, it's a red Rover, 4-up, IC3. Heading towards London Fields now, stand by. It's a loss, temporary loss. Here he is. Stand by, please. Hello boys, jump in the car everybody. Everybody back in the car, just for 2 minutes. It's nothing to worry about. Everybody put your hands on the bonnet. Put your hands on the bonnet.
With 5 men in the suspect car and only 2 police officers, PC Collier is not taking chances.
Sit up! I don't care. I don't know that you're reaching for a gun down there. Now sit up and put your hands on the dashboard. Put your hands on the dashboard where I can see them. OK, just chill out. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Just kick your feet forward for me.
With the suspect secure, PC Collier can begin to investigate.
OK, just relax like that, OK? Like you're resting your body on the car, OK? Just relax. Right, what we're going to do now is some checks, and if everything works out fine, then that'll be the end of it, OK?
Come here, mate. Come down here.
PC Collier has a way of dealing with tricky situations.
You've never been arrested before. OK, good.
Be nice.
And why have you parked here? And you all started to get out of the car. Why is that?
No, we're not starting to get down there. We're going to...
Bit suspicious? A little bit suspicious, do you think? So when my colleague put his hand out in the road to stop you, why didn't you stop?
No, they don't put you. I was in the back of the bus. Then when I wanted to park, so they said that I was in because.
So you saw him and you was going to park up, but you didn't stop because.
I didn't see him. I saw the bus.
All right.
Okay.
I've heard enough.
So it's okay.
It's all okay.
You can call them. It's all right. They will tell you.
It's all okay, apart from the fact that you didn't stop and you got no tax.
Whilst the checks are being run on the driver's documents, there's a growing concern about the passengers. One has bank cards that aren't in his name.
Well, who does this car belong to then, mate?
My friend.
Sorry?
My friend. You can call him, you've got all this information.
He's got a bank card and someone else's details. We need to clarify whether he's allowed to have it or not. It may be stolen, it may not be. He's been arrested at the moment for that. Apparently his friend owes him money, so he's given the card to get the money out, which I thought was very nice of him. We'll see what his friend has to say.
You're a fantastic liar.
The driver is being nice too, but the unit still haven't been able to positively identify him. Sergeant Crump has a 21st century trick up his sleeve, a piece of police technology called a lantern. A mobile fingerprint machine that will check his prints against the national database.
Well, we're just going to go and give this gentleman the opportunity to prove or disprove his identity on the lantern.
OK, just give me this finger.
Everyone with a criminal conviction is on the database, and PC Collier is still Mr. Nice Guy.
So obviously if there's at any point you want to tell me anything, like actually my name is something else, then feel free.
Shouldn't take long. We've just got to find out who he is.
So you've not lied to me about your details at all then, no? You haven't. OK, well that's fine. That's good news. OK. The problem is I've had some different details. Have you got a watch on at all? Just have a look, see if you've got a watch on. Because I've got some different details on that computer that we've just used. I'm not happy, all right? So until I've done those checks, right now, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't mention when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. All right? So take a weight off, just lean on the car for a moment. And don't forget, you're under caution, but if you feel like you want to tell me anything, feel free. All right? Might speed things up a little bit. How'd you feel? Gutted?
We know he's now got a totally different name to the one he gave us the name of. There is some doubt about his immigration status. Obviously, it is an offence to fail to stop for an officer in uniform, which can be arrested. And he's also, it would appear, a provisional licence holder.
So you got a provisional licence then? Is that why you lied? Because you haven't got a licence?
I've got a provisional licence.
You got a provisional licence?
Yeah.
OK. So your insurance is invalid then, isn't it?
He's got absolutely no identification on him, so we don't actually know where he lives, or we know who he is. So in order to promptly investigate the matters, and in order that we can serve a summons on him, he's been arrested and he's going to be taken to Stoke Newington Police Station where he'll be dealt with.
Why did you have to lie to me? Because I'm in your uniform. We're police officers. You're not really supposed to do that, are you?
As time runs out for the driver and his passenger with the credit cards, the ANPR burglary operation is now in northeast London, in Enfield. They've based themselves in a church car park, with a view to making life hell for the lawbreakers.
But that officer over there is going to take it apart because you shouldn't have it on the road, should you?
This woman isn't a criminal. She's a new driver.
I passed my test 2 months ago. My driving's been fine, apart from being stopped today by the police.
It's not her driving that's the problem, but her number plates. It's a show plate. The ANPR cameras can't read them properly, and they're illegal.
You're not allowed black and silver number plates. Okay, so it's only cars before 1971.
Legislation around number plates is really very clear. The number plate has to be made of a certain material, has to be a certain colour, it has to be, the letters have to be a certain size, of a certain font, and they have to be spaced in a certain way. And what is more important is, you must only obtain that number plate from a certain source.
Who had the plates done for you? Your dad, smack your dad's wrist. Get your number plates changed, because obviously you will keep being stopped.
Right, okay.
Because we're clamping down on it.
All my friends have got them, so I didn't know that they were illegal. So my dad got them made for me, and I didn't think anything was wrong with them.
It's thought that there are around 20,000 show plates in Britain, and the number is increasing.
In the UK, you can get a number plate made up in about 35,000 outlets. Just walk in. It's fairly straightforward. In Sweden, it's very secure. They're sent to you by registered post, and there's one manufacturer, and that's the government. So it's a much tighter system, and that's what we need in the UK.
Show plates can easily be bought on the web. Not all are silly designs. You can also get ones that look like the real thing. You're not supposed to use them on your car, but many do.
As long as you sort of promise with your fingers crossed that you're not going to put the plate on a vehicle, you can order any plate you want.
MP Robert Goodwill is one of a growing number of people who wants this internet trade in plates to be banned. To prove the point, he's about to clone a number plate armed with nothing more than a pen and paper. And it's not just anyone's plate he's after.
This is the entrance to Downing Street, where every week the Prime Minister will sweep out in his Prime Ministerial cavalcade. So anybody could come along, copy down the number, clone the plates, and then the Prime Minister would get the congestion charge fees or the speeding fines that the motorist might gather up driving around in the cloned car.
And I must admit, I rather suspected that maybe special branch would come down on me, but no. Even the Prime Minister of this country is not immune from vehicle cloning.
Back at his office in Westminster, Goodwill only needs seconds and a computer to copy the Prime Minister's number plate.
There's a whole variety. We make number plates, get unique show plates, manufacture show plates. Let's click on that. And here we are, the website. I'm able to type in the registration there, and there is the number plate as it would be delivered, and I could purchase that in the space of 5 minutes.
Fake number plates are now a massive problem. And those who make legal plates are part of a drive to change the way Britain's number plates are made and look. This plate factory turns out 3 million legal number plates every year.
You've got the original number plate that came out in 1904. It was just a piece of metal, and you bashed the characters into it. We then had acrylic plates, and now the plate that we've made. But basically, all of these plates are very, very low tech, and very simple to produce, and very simple to copy.
In Westminster, MP Robert Goodwill has received his order and the Prime Minister's plate.
It only costs £20 to completely blow the system and evade detection. And at the moment, I'm afraid to say, there are at least 20,000 vehicles out there which are not displaying the correct plates, which are being cloned. And that's potentially 20,000 victims, innocent people, who will find that those vehicles which have committed crimes will result in them receiving fines or a visit from the bailiffs at worst.
In East London, the cameras have picked up another dodgy plate.
Have you got actually the car documents on you, the registration document or anything like that?
A car logged into the ANPR system as wanted in connection with a robbery.
Keep your hands out of your pockets, that's the last time I want to tell you, yeah? Okay. It's a safety thing. If you go in there again, I might consider my safety as a threat and I'll have to deal with it, yeah? No problem. Please keep your hands away from your pockets. No problem. Yeah. Have you got anything sharp in your pockets? No. Definitely not, or you don't think so? Keep your hands away from your pockets. You can't remember what you got in your pockets?
No, I can't remember, but I shouldn't go in my pocket.
It's time for Sergeant Crump's magic lantern to make another appearance.
With that finger, put it onto that glass plate there. A little bit harder for me, a little bit harder. The car behind us has been stopped, it's activated the systems, it's been involved in a shoplifting. There's obviously descriptions of suspects with that. The officers are going to investigate that and look to see if the people that we've stopped today are one and the same as involved in a theft.
descriptions of the wanted robbers are coming in.
As I say, the vehicle's a male IC1, approximately 35 years old, with a male.
They were all white males.
It's a suspect is a white male, yeah, so obviously it's not you concerning the theft. Even if it was this car, it's not you that has done it at the time.
This driver is yet another victim of the number plate thieves, who stole his car's identity to commit crime. And this is not the first time he's been stopped by police.
Yeah. But I like your attitude that you've done nothing wrong, so you don't mind getting stopped. Me, I'd get a little bit annoyed with it myself.
Well, I don't mind. I can't afford to change the car at the moment, so I have to keep driving it to work. So all I can do is keep myself clean until I can sell it. It will stop me again. But what can I
do? Some plate makers are trying to beat the crooked copiers by designing the crime out.
As you can see, it's broken into pieces. That plate could not be reused on anyone else's vehicle.
This is the first road test of a new British number plate, which might just be a crime beater. These luxury cars are fitted with new smart plates. The answer to the vehicle's true identity lies not only in the usual letters and numbers, but also in a hidden microchip within the plate, which sends out a unique signal.
We have two vehicles here that are equipped with E-plate. Both of them are fitted with this device, so they're continually transmitting their identity, and that identity can be cross-checked against a database. That database will contain details regarding the insurance, the MOT, and any other reasons where the vehicle may be of interest.
Even if the criminals manage to cover or alter the plate, the car's true identity is being broadcast on radio waves.
If everything's good when it receives a signal, it just comes up as black, as we have here. We have a further car coming now. We're monitoring here, and immediately it reads it, and it's come up red. So we can have a look for the red item, the tax, the MOT, the insurance is all good, but in fact it has been reported stolen, and that's the reason it's flagged up as red. It can't be copied, it can't be cloned. Also, if the plates get removed from the vehicle, it will then change its state so that if they're swapped onto another car, it will transmit a tamper signal, and again, as it's been read, it will say, I'm here, but hey, I've been tampered with as well.
Smart number plates may be one answer, but in East London, Sergeant Crump and his team are still sure ANPR is another, even though they are increasingly dealing with smart criminals.
Criminals, despite what you might think of them, aren't stupid. Although they've not had a formal education, they've got their education out on the streets. And you've heard the term street smart. Well, most of them are very street smart. And as a consequence, they know what they can and can't get away with.
This time, the car has not been stopped because the cameras rang the alarm. This one's got the wrong sort of tinted windows.
I just want you to talk to me simply. I don't want to talk to you, bro. You're stopping me for no reason. Can you mind how you go through my car, please?
It gives the same effect as driving a vehicle with sunglasses on at night. Your vision is seriously impaired.
Do not hold on to me. Am I holding on to you? Am I touching you? But don't touch me. Do a vehicle check then, innit?
This driver doesn't want to lose his shades.
With all due respect, your windows are illegal, okay? That's the one reason.
I'll get them looked off.
No, if they come off now. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm telling you, those windows are going to come off. He's saying that it's not dangerous, that it's been put on by a factory. The factories will put the tints on. They will tell you it's legal, but it's not.
Yeah, you can ask some questions. Don't hold on to me, yeah? Do not hold on.
While the team are tied up with tints, PC Collier's fast response car has spotted two lads on bikes trying to avoid the ANPR net.
Two mopeds coming up, just turned off.
Motorbikes and mopeds are often used by thieves in London. They know they can more easily get away from the police. But at least one of these bikers isn't a thief on the run.
His mate's obviously the one we want. Get hold of him for me, please, Adrian.
But Sergeant Crump is still wary. Cautious, always, until proved otherwise.
All right. Where's your mate gone? Why?
One's made off down an alleyway, the other one's come round to us and we managed to stop him. However, I suspect the one we probably want to speak to is the one that's not here, but we'll go and have a look and see what this one's been up to. Let's do some checks on you, Joe. Bring it with you, someone will nick it. There's loads of thieves around here.
The lad's details are true. The bike is perfectly clean.
Joe, I'm very impressed you're insured.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Yeah, I've been in trouble before. That's for TDA and bits and bobs, but I've had enough
for TDA.
But his past isn't.
Mate, please.
TDA means taking and driving away, legal jargon for stealing.
What about your mate?
I ain't sure. I don't think so.
What's his name?
I ain't saying no. I don't really like. I don't say people's names.
Why not?
This one person, that person I am. I'm not grass.
You don't want to grass your mate up.
What tattoos have you got?
This one here. My name.
Was that in case you forget?
Nah, and I got my initials there.
OK, Joe, thanks very much. Thank you for stopping.
That's all right.
We'll see you next time.
The youth has done nothing wrong. Crump would love to speak to his mate, but that's not on.
Obviously I stopped because I got a licence now, my mate made that. But obviously, because I ain't a grass, I didn't say his name. And that
Perhaps it's him on the phone.
Hello? Phone back in 2 minutes, man, I'm with the police. Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah, and that was it. I just stopped, checked it through. They said I'm fully legit and I'm ready to go. I used to be in a bike crime, I used to nick bikes every day, but not no more. That's why I got my licence and that. No need. But that's how it is around here. No one really stops the police anyway.
Do not touch me. So what are you doing? What are you doing if you're touching me? If you're touching me, are you not assaulting me? If I touch you, then am I...
The driver with the dark tints on his car doesn't like stopping for the police either.
Right. Hey, wait! Hey, wait! Hey, want to get physical when you... Right, down on the ground! Down! Hey, what are you doing?
Stay there.
Get me off the ground!
Just stay there.
What the fuck have you not got me on the ground for? And he's assaulting me, yeah? Telling me to take my hands out of my fucking pockets because of what? Think you got fucking power in uniform. Watch, I can find out where all you lot live anyway, watch. I'm threatening you. I'm threatening you, bruv. Just you. No one else than this dickhead behind me. Yeah? Just him and you little prick.
No, he's not a happy bunny, but there you go, that's the way it goes. You can't please all the people all the time.
Pleasing all of the victims of car crime is what Britain's police chiefs want to do, as they try to snatch the initiative back from the criminals.
Car crime is now a very complicated area. Vehicle design has improved immeasurably over the last couple of years. Vehicle criminals are sophisticated criminals, and so we've got to actually improve our game just as the criminals have done.
The driver caught in the ANPR trap by PC Collier admitted to having no insurance, no tax, and driving on a provisional licence. The girl racer, who was trying to get to the church on time with no insurance or road tax, was given 8 penalty points and fined £125. The man driving without insurance, whose world was in his car boot after his wife kicked him out, failed to pay the fine and his car was crushed. He was later disqualified from driving for 6 months. And the woman who crashed the stolen BMW failed to turn up in court. Her passenger did show and got an 18-month conditional discharge.